Welcome to Lagree Unlock. Let's get started with a quick warm-up, starting out with jumping jacks. Your modification is to step out with arms overhead. Be sure to continue to move mindfully, just like we do in class. Otherwise, if you're in the full range, let that ponytail fly. Keep on jumping. 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, done. Next on deck, we have reverse lunge with side reach for 30 seconds. Step back starting with your right foot. Lift up and over, reach over to the side. We're stretching out and warming up your legs as well as your side body. As you step back, be sure that your knees are over your ankles in the front leg. Lift up and over by lifting out of your waistline from your hips. Continue for 30 seconds. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. For inchworm, reach up to the sky, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, walk out, shoulders over wrists into a plank position. Come into a push-up, walk back up, stack your body inch by inch, vertebrae by vertebrae. Reach up and repeat. Be sure to move mindfully. Feel yourself rolling down and up. Take your time walking out into that plank. Squeeze your glutes in your bellies, legs engaged, elbows go wide, walk back up, and roll on up. As you reach up to the sky, find length through your waistline. Reach back down and maintain that length. Walk out. Don't forget about not locking out into those elbows. Come into that push-up. Heading straight into push-ups with alternate toe touches. From your push-up position, find the down dog, hips up to the sky, reaching opposite hand to opposite toes. Go back into your plank, do one push-up, and repeat. Remember, as you come into your plank position, elbows are not locked out. Last 8, 7, 6, you got it, 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's get started with your first core block, starting with kneeling crunch. Find yourself in a modified plank position, shoulders over elbows, knees behind your hips. C-curve and round your spine up to the ceiling like a scared cat using your core, flexing through your spine. Your knees stop once they go under your hips. Don't let your shoulders go past your elbows. Don't worry about how many times you do this. Worry about the quality of the movements. Almost there. Stick with it. Almost there. Keep breathing. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Heading straight into forearm plank elbow saw. Find yourself in a modified plank position on your forearms. Shoulders start over those elbows. Keep your chest proud and your body engaged. Squeezing through your glutes, legs engaged, belly in, keep breathing. You're going to point and flex through your feet to slide your shoulders behind and back on top of your elbows. Be sure not to collapse down into your chest. As you move, continue to squeeze through your legs. Keep your body long from your head down to your heels. Keep on flexing, keep on pointing. You got this. Take notice if you start losing your form. Are you starting to collapse down into your chest? Are your legs starting to get weak? Did you disengage with your core? Squeeze through your belly, keep breathing, keep all of the muscles on. Your body works as one entire unit. Keep rocking back, flexing and pointing. Last 5, 4, 3, 2. Straight arm crunch. Come lying down onto your back. Find your knees over your hips, knees bent in a 90-degree angle. Reach up straight out of your shoulders, just like you were reaching up to the sky. As you lift up, shoulders and head lift off the ground, arms go by your side next to your waistline. Lift right back up. Allow your shoulders and head to release, or for more, keep the head and shoulders lifted. As you lift up, breathe out, let me hear it. Shh. If you want a little bit more, add a leg extension. Imagine like you're trying to reach your toes to a button that's on an invisible wall in front of you. Find that extension through your legs at a 45 to 65 degree angle. Be sure that your lower body does not lift up off of the mat. Keep breathing, you got this. Try to keep your shoulders and head up off of that mat. Don't let yourself rest if you don't need to. Again, remember when you need to modify and when you just want to. Stay motivated. We got this, team. Breathe. Straight into mega leg lift. Let your shoulders and head relax. Arms long by your side. Press your palms down into the mat. Keep your lower back pressed down into the mat. Extend long through your legs. Find length. Squeeze through your inner thighs. Lower those legs down 65 to 45 degrees or more. And lift up with control. Exhale. Good. As you lower those legs down, find that length of your legs. Keep that length in your legs and don't let your lower back lift up off of that mat. You got this. Keep breathing. Don't let your shoulders round forward. Keep your chest proud. Press your shoulders down into that mat. Stay strong. Notice your posture. Be sure that your shoulders stay connected to your mat. Keep breathing. Move slow. You got this. If your hips are tight, your modification is to bend your knees to a 90-degree angle, knees over those hips. Like you're dipping your feet into water, keep your legs connected, lower those feet down, and then lift the knees back up, stacking them over those hips. Try to keep those legs in that 90-degree bend, lowering down, lifting back up, knees over those hips. You got this. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2. Let's get up and start your first leg block, starting with elevator lunge. The front leg is your primary mover, so right foot forward, left foot back. The right knee stays stacked over the right heel. The toes on the back leg are on your slider, your paper towel, not your paper towel, your paper plate, your towel, whatever you have. As you bend down into that right knee, that back leg stays long and engaged, heel nice and high. Drive through that front heel as you come up. Keep a tiny micro bend in that front leg. Don't lock out. And then bring yourself right back down, initiating through the bend and the extend of your front leg. Shoulders stand stacked on top of those hips. As you lower down, try to envision getting that right thigh bone parallel to that floor. Your glutes and hamstring in your right front leg is what's powering this movement. Back leg simply stays long, staying high on those back heels. Keep breathing, team. We got it. Continue to move slow and feel yourself stabilizing as you move through this exercise. Remember, you're not pulling the the back foot in and out. It's the front leg that's doing the work. The bend through that front knee and the extension of that front leg without locking out at the top. That's how we stay in the work and find time under tension. Remember to square your hips off, pressing left hip forward and right hip back. Meet me at the bottom of this lunge. Hinge forward from those hips, carriage kicks. Reach forward overhead, palms facing in. Stay bent in that front knee. Pull that back knee under the hip. Extend that back leg out as you stay bent in that right knee. Stay low in that right hip. Press your left hip forward, right hip back. Good, keep breathing. That back stays long and diagonal from your head down to those hips. Keep initiating through the front heel so you don't fall down into your joints. Last 5, 4, 3, last 2. Heading into skating curtsy lunge combo. We're still working on your right leg, so be sure that your right foot is on the floor and it's your left toes that are on your slider. We're gonna stay bent in that right knee, just like when you skate on top of the megaformer, your right leg is stabilizing on that imaginary platform. As you skate that left leg out, you're staying low in those hips. Notice how my hips are barely moving. You wanna stay low in those hips, so send those hips down and back. Be sure that your knees aren't caving in on your right supporting leg. As you bring that leg out into that skate, stay low. And then you're gonna bring that leg behind you, coming into that curtsy lunge. Try to keep those hips from bouncing up and down as much as possible. As you stay bent in that right knee, be sure that your knees don't go over the toes. Try to keep them stacked over those heels. Knees do not cave in. Good, keep your chest nice and proud. Really try to find that length of your legs as you go from skating to curtsy. You should feel this still in your glutes and your hamstrings, as well as your abductors on the right side and your glute medius, the shelf of your glute. All right, you should be burning in that butt right now. So you see my ghost image here. You shouldn't be lifting up and lowering like me. I'm just repeating the video. So be sure that you're staying low in that skate position the whole time. Your body isn't skating over as your left leg skates to the left. You're trying to stay stable over that right side as you stay bent in that right knee. Good. Keep sliding through those legs. Notice if you feel this in your spine. Find a neutral spine by slightly tilting your pelvis under if that's happening. Keep breathing. Are you starting to collapse down or round into your spine? Do something about it. I'm not there to correct you, but hold yourself accountable and know that you're doing amazing. Good. Keep breathing. Almost there. Last 4, 3, 2. Around the world lunge is next. Starting with your feet together, step forward into a front lunge with your right foot. Still with your right leg, step out to the side into a side lunge, and then step back with your right foot into a reverse lunge. Repeat. Back out to the side lunge, send those hips down and back together with those feet, and then step forward into that front lunge. Every time you move into your lunges, be mindful and move slowly so that you can connect with the work. Your knee stays on top of your heel as you send those legs forward. When you come out into that side lunge, send your weight into that right side. Be sure that your knees stay facing the same direction as your toes. When you come into that reverse lunge, bend into those knees, come back up nice and slow. Good. Out to the side, bending into those knees, hips down and back, and repeat. Keep breathing. Focus on keeping your balance, keeping your shoulders on top of your hips, and moving mindfully and slowly. We're not on top of a megaformer, but you can still move slow. In the front lunge and the side lunge, you're working through your right leg. When you go into the reverse lunge, you're actually getting some work into your left side as you stabilize. But to keep things not confusing, we're gonna stick to staying on the right foot. Good. Get ready for a cardio burst in 4, 3, 2. Plyo split lunge. Let's get that heart rate going. Start out in that split lunge position, facing forward. Use your arms as though you are going running and you're about to take off. As you bend into the knees, knees are bent at 90-degree angles. Find power through your front heel to take off and lift up as you alternate right to left. To modify, simply take the jump out of it. Step forward into a front lunge, still use your arms, and step back and switch sides. Elevator lunge left side in 4, 3, 2. Hooray, we're on the left side. Left foot forward, right foot back, right toes on your slider, left knee over left heel. Again, you don't want to lock out into that left leg. Your primary mover is your front leg, your left leg. Left knee stays over the heel as you lower down into those hips. Try to get that left thigh parallel to that floor at least once. You can do it. Back heel stays high, back leg stays long. As you lift and lower through that front leg, your back leg slides your body down, lowering down from those hips and driving through that left heel to bring yourself back up. Shoulders stay over those hips, press your right hip forward and your left hip back. Continue to square those hips off. Notice when you start to pull through the back leg, let the work happen from that front bend and extension into that front knee. Good. As you move, continue to breathe. Resist the urge of letting that leg lock out. Good, you got this. Notice your posture, what's going on with your body. Are you starting to collapse? Are you starting to go too fast? Slow yourself down, stay in control. Good, keep breathing, you got it. Back heel stays nice and high, doing so good, team. Good, breathe. Don't worry about my shadow. That's me just repeating the video. Stay in the move. Don't look for that as a reason to stop or pause. Hinge forward, carriage kicks in 4, 3, 2. Hinge forward from those hips. Back stays nice and long, diagonal line from your head down to those hips. We're staying low in those hips, staying bent in that left knee as you pull the back knee under your hips and extend that back leg long. This should intensify that work in that left glute and left hamstring. Good, keep those arms energized, keep that back nice and long, no arch through that spine. Last 4, 3, 2, skating curtsy lunge combo coming up. Stabilize on your left leg, staying bent in that left knee, hips are down and back. Skating out with your right foot, extend that leg long, allow your body to stay stable over that left leg, and then go back into that curtsy lunge. Your hips are staying low as possible, so move with control. You're not trying to skate down a mountain, you're going as slow as you can. Good. As you send the leg out, find that length and that extension. Don't make faces like me, stay relaxed. Good, keep on moving. Try to keep those hips down low. Don't allow your body to lift up and lower. You want those hips to stay stable and down. You're staying bent in that left knee. Good, you're driving through that heel. Keep that back nice and long. Chest open and proud. Good, you got this. Stay strong. Bring yourself back to those times in the studio when you had somebody next to you that helped you to keep going. Imagine them here now. Be grateful for them and continue to move. They got you. Breathe. As you continue to move, notice if you are starting to lose your form. It is so easy, especially when you're in a room by yourself. So if you have a mirror handy, hopefully have that in front of you to help you with your form. Notice if your hips are lifting and lowering excessively, and commit to keeping your hips down and back. You should be feeling that glute, those hamstrings on fire as you move. Really find that full extension in your skate. Find that full diagonal extension through that curtsy. Good, keep breathing. Be careful with those knees. Don't let those knees start to cave in. You got this. We are almost there. Whew. This was a really good one. My butt was burning and it's still burning from this. So I know that yours will too. Just keep at it. Stay committed to staying low. Keep breathing. Around the world lunge, starting with left forward in 4, 3, 2. Here we go, team. Left foot forward into that front lunge. Find that side lunge. Step back into that reverse lunge. Good. Keep your shoulders on top of those hips. Move slowly so that you can connect with the move. You are driving and initiating through your heel, stabilizing over that left side when you go into the side lunge. Notice how I found that my knee was starting to cave in and I corrected that. Be careful with yours as well. Good. As you drive back, always find those legs back together through center before going into the next move. The reverse lunge will serve to work through your right leg as you step back. But again, for simplicity's sake, we are stepping forward to the side and back using that left leg. Good. Keep breathing. Really try to find yourself going low into this lunge. You are fully supported by that floor, so take advantage of it. As you breathe, notice if you are starting to slack through this posture. Keep those bodies nice and open and proud through the chest. Good, keep breathing. Really find a wide stance as you step out into these lunges. Doing so good. An idea, if you want to amp it up, is to put weights into your hands so that as you get into these lunges, you get a little bit of extra weight. If you repeat this video, think about using them the next time to amp up the workout. Good. As you continue to move through these lunges, really aim for those 90-degree bends in those legs. As you step forward, see if you can step forward a little bit farther than you did the other time without letting those knees go in front of those toes. Good. The wider the lunge and the stance, the more time you will have in them and the more benefit you'll get out of the posture. Good. Your right oblique block is up next in 8, 7, 6, twister in 4, 3, last 2. All right, team, it's a little tricky to get into this. So start with your right foot crossing over your left. Your upper body is twisted to be square to your mat, shoulders over those wrists. Your lower body is twisted towards the left. You're gonna lift up and initiate through your right waistline, your oblique, to lift up into that oblique, bringing your hips to your low ribs. Your legs stay straight. Try to keep your feet heel toe as much as possible. Good. Focus on taking any momentum out. It's not about how high you go, it's about your form. Keep your shoulders stacked over those wrists. Don't hyperextend through your elbows. We've got side plank coming up in 4, 3, last 2. Start off in that side plank position. Shoulders stacked over those elbows. You're on your right forearm. Stack your shoulders over each other. Your hips are stacked like Legos. Your legs are glued together. Don't lean forward or back. If anything, bring your top hip towards something in front of you. You want to imagine that you're between 2 panes of glass and you can't touch either side. As you reach up to the sky, find length through your top arm, press up and away from the floor with your elbow. To modify, you can always come down to your knees stacked, knees bent at a 90-degree angle, hips lifting up, diagonal line from your head down to the knees. On this next one, leave your arm up to the sky, get ready to wave. Reach up to that sky, reach the arm up overhead, create a rainbow with those arms, reach towards the opposite side, towards your feet. Good, keep those arms nice and long as you wave. Continue to breathe, continue to lift up and away from that gravity pushing you down. We've got Soul Train in 5, 4, 3, 2. Lie down onto your back, hands behind the head, elbows wide. Bring opposite knee into chest to opposite elbow. We are twisting from our waistline. Look at me getting confused. As you twist from the waist, you're lifting up, shoulders up off of the mat as you twist, and then twist in the other direction. Opposite knee to opposite elbow. On the Megaformer, we do this with our feet under the carriage. But in this version, think about it as the slowest, juiciest bicycle you've ever done in your life. Good. Exhale as you twist from the waistline, feel your obliques doing the work. Don't round through the arms or the chest. Keep the chest open and proud. If your elbows are starting to curl in, bring your arms across the chest to modify. Prioritize a proud chest. Be sure that your shoulders are lifting up off of the mat. Exhale, don't hold your breath. Our second cardio burst is coming up in 4, 3, 2. Start in a squat position, feet are hip width apart. Bend deeply into the knees, sending those hips down and back. Drive through the heels as you use the arms to catapult up into that jump. Land softly onto those feet, heels to toe. Good. Don't forget to breathe. Modify, take the jump out of it, simply bend into the knees and come up onto your toes at the top. Good, we're heading into our next oblique set. Left side twister in 4, 3, 2. All right, team, here we go. To start, find that plank position. Cross your left foot over your right foot, your lower body twists to the left as your upper body stays square to the mat under you. Shoulders stay over those wrists, keep a tiny micro bend in the elbows, lift up from your left waistline, not pulling through your legs, and then lower down. Good. Legs stay straight, squeeze those inner thighs together, continue to press up and away from the ground. Focus on maintaining the twist in your waistline. Your upper body is twisted to be square to the mat under you. Your lower body twisted in opposition towards the left. Try to keep those arms stacked, shoulders over those wrists. Notice if you are hyperextending through your elbows and take that out of it. Legs stay nice and straight, and notice when you start using momentum to try to lift into those hips. Keep it in those waistlines, take your legs out of it, you got it. Good, breathe. Almost there, stick with it. Get ready to come down to that left forearm for your side plank in 4, 3, 2. Here we go. Stack your shoulders on top of each other, your hips stacked. Find length through those legs. Lift up to the sky, poke holes through the ceiling with your top fingers. Rotate from the waistline, reach under that hip, and then open back up. You're back in between those two panes of glass. Don't let yourself lean forward or back. If anything, your top hip will have a tendency to fall back behind you. Press it forward to keep them nice and stacked. Notice if you are falling down and collapsing down into your shoulder on the supporting side. To modify, again, come down onto the knees. Knees are bent 90 degrees. Keep those hips lifted up. Feel yourself holding yourself up against that gravity. Top arm back up to the sky. Let's get into that wave. Create that rainbow with that hand. If you have furniture in your way, find a way to go around it. Don't even worry about it. Good. As you reach up overhead, keep that arm nice and long. No wimpy arms here. Really find energy through them. Soul Train coming up. Lie down onto your back in 4, 3, 2. Hands behind the head, elbows wide. Opposite knee to opposite elbow. Find that length through those legs as you bend and extend through them. Be sure that your shoulders are lifting up off of the mat and you're keeping your neck relaxed. Keep a tiny space between your chin and your chest. Good, don't forget to breathe and remember to modify arms across the chest if you feel yourself rounding forward. Good, feel the twist from the waistline doing the work here. What we want to avoid is cranking on the neck and not letting the work happen from your waistline, so be sure that you are finding the twist. Good, hold yourself there for a moment before you bring yourself to the other side. Stay mindful with the way that you are moving. Don't forget to breathe. Find length of your waistline so you can twist into one side. Hold it there for a moment and repeat. Remember to modify. You can bring your arms across your chest if you feel yourself rounding forward through those shoulders. Always prioritize keeping that chest nice and open. Tricep dips coming up off of a chair in 5, 4, 3, 2. Sit down onto a chair, your couch, whatever you got. Bring your hands down next to your hips, fingers going towards the same direction as your toes. Lift your butt up off of that couch, off of that chair, as though you are sledding up and down a brick wall. Lower those hips down and then lift up by pressing up through those palms, using the back of your arms, your triceps, to lift up and down. We're not looking to lock our elbows out at the top, so keep a tiny microbend at the top, shoulders down away from your ears as you lower and you lift. In the middle of this, let's add those 1-inch pulses from the halfway point. It's 1 inch down, 1 inch up. Keep it nice and controlled. Keep breathing. Notice if your shoulders are starting to come up into those ears. Are your hips going forward? You want to keep those shoulders on top of your hips, elbows reaching behind you. Good. Last move coming up, plank jacks in 4, 3, 2. Find that plank position, then jump out with control, just like you were doing a jumping jack vertically, but now horizontally. As you bring your legs in and out through center, focus on stabilizing through your core by bracing through belly into spine. Shoulders always stay over those wrists with a tiny microbend in your elbows so as not to hyperextend through them. You can jump in and out even slower to maintain the control that we look for in classes. To modify, instead of jumping, step out to the right, keeping those hips square to the floor, back through center, and then switch sides. We're heading into your final push. Stick with it, coming down into a forearm plank for high-low planks. Start with your right forearm down to your left forearm, back up to your right palm, up to your left palm. Continue like this. Focus on keeping that core braced, your legs strong and engaged. Wide stance will help you get more stability. Your hips aren't swaying and moving. Keep them stable. You are home free in 4, 3, 2. All right, team, added bonus, you get a little stretch here. Come into a split lunge, right foot forward, left knee carefully down onto the floor or your mat. Knee is over the heel. When you're down in this position, keep your shoulders over those hips. Tilt your pelvis under to get a little bit more of a stretch and release into that left hip flexor. As you bend into that right knee, keep yourself nice and stacked, shoulders over hips. Stretch out those hamstrings by lifting those hips up, lowering the body down, hinging over that front leg. Try to keep that chest as proud as you can. Bending back down into that right knee, left hand down onto the floor, twist from the waistline, lift up to the sky, reaching to the ceiling with your right fingertips. Keep your back leg nice and long. Come back through center, bend through that front knee again, left knee down onto the floor, come into that knee over heel position in the front leg. Lift up, come back through center, bend into the left knee and the right knee, going side to side, reach out alternate sides with alternate arms. Keep your back flat, keep your spine long. Feel the stretch through your inner thighs as you keep those hips down and back. Switch to the other side, bend into the left knee, right knee down onto the floor. Knee stays over the heel in the front leg. Keep your shoulders on top of those hips and then tilt your pelvis under again to find that stretch through your right hip flexor. Good, as you bend into that left knee, feel that stretch in that runner's lunge. Lift up, hips to the sky, hinge forward over that front leg. Feel the stretch in the front hamstring. Bend again into that left knee. Keep pressing those hips forward, tilting the pelvis under if you want more for your hip flexors. Join me through center, equal weight in both of your heels. Grab onto either elbow, sway left and right to feel the stretch through the hamstrings. Release your neck, allow those arms to release. Shake your head out no and yes. Slowly roll yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. From here, roll those arms back, come into arm circles. Use this to release your shoulders. Lift up to the sky. Hinge over to the left side. Feel the stretch along your side body. Go back through center, other side. Feel the stretch through that left side body. Reach up to the sky, roll out those wrists, and you are all done. Amazing job.